It's time for Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock.
Believe me when I say we have a difficult time ahead of us. But if we are to be prepared for it, we must first shed our fear of it. I stand here without fear because I remember that I am here not because of the path that lies before me, but because of the path that lies behind me. I remember that for 100 years we have fought these machines. And after a century of war, I remember that which matters most. We are still here! Tonight, let us make them remember we are not afraid!
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock. I tell you, this is what we're going to do today. I don't have a guest for you today. It's me and you. What we're going to talk about today is we're at the end of 2010, and I want to share, my personal experiences, what I know, the people that I associate with, people that I trust, the people that are going to help us that don't know what we need to know through this thing. And this thing's going to get bad. Let me go ahead and put it this way. I have always been very positive about humanity's capacity to love one another, to be peaceful in their interactions, to be able to rely on each other and families and extended families and close friends that might as well be family, and us survive this thing. And you hear me talk about this a lot. I say, all we have to do is to keep breathing in and out. You do that long enough, and you go through cycles. And there are those that just soon you not breathe in and out. And we hear about it, a lot of different hosts will go on about this and so on. We've had a lot of guests and from a very wide perspective. That's what we offer you here on this show and on Freedom's Phoenix. I'm going to recap some things. Imagine me at my mid-20s. And it's 88. You're starting to come to the realization that, what they taught you in the public school system, that's not how it really works. We know this now. I think I don't need to be telling you you're feeling it. You're seeing it. Here it comes. When you have things like copper go up 170%, when you have soybeans and wheat and gasoline and on and on and on and on and on, the inflation on these things are 40, 50, 100% in just the last year, certainly even few months. It's a sign. It's a sign. We have not felt the true ramifications of inflation yet. This enormous amount of printing of money that has been injected into the system, whatever that is, and you can pick whatever system you want to talk about. U.S. dollar as reserve currency, treasury bills, what the central banks are holding back, our investment or just mortgaging the future of our children into foreign banks and corporations. It's so bad that you can't emphasize how bad it is. I don't even think you can go into history and pick out something and say, see, it's going to be like this. You could probably look at something like Zimbabwe, and you go, wow, I wish it was only as bad as Zimbabwe. This is going to be, when I say this, I'm talking about our ability to survive, to breathe in and out. Now, we'll have guys on like, Lindsey Williams will go on about, his communications with the elite that, told him what for. And he's came out just in the last time we had him on a couple of weeks ago, one of the gentlemen that has been, because he passed away. And when he died, he goes, okay, I'll tell you who it was that was telling me what's what. Now, of course, there are a lot of other people, I'm sure, that interface with him and share with him. We have Gerald Celente, and he can't be apocalyptic enough, And you think they're exaggerating. They're not. A lot of people have taken this to heart, but it's only sporadic and in small areas. But they're leaders. They're tips of the spear at going somewhere just to survive. I'm going to tell you some personal stories that so you can understand how long we've known this was coming, and it's time to go. Where? I don't know. We're working on it. But I'm going to provide you with some of the resources and information that can help salvage whatever resources you have available, and hopefully you can just survive this thing. In the mid-'90s, there was a good friend of mine. His name was Greg T. For initials or T. Let me turn off my phone. Now, what we did is we would sit around talking about, here it comes, and we had a different perspective from things in our generation. We had, Ruby Ridge, how far the federal government would go to get whatever it is that they wanted. They wanted to go after somebody, and they'll do with the Randy Weaver thing, Ruby Ridge. Immediately following that was Waco. That kind of woke up a lot of people, and you had the Clinton administration and Janet Reno and them saying, "Oh man, if you believe in the second coming, if you're preparing, you're hoarding up stuff." The Clinton administration actually went after people for hoarding things like diapers, baby formula, and they wanted to pass legislation to prevent you from hoarding things. Why? What do they care? Well, there were a lot recently. 4409 and Renee, one of the activists here, and 4409 Shelton did a video last year where she's calling the the Department of Homeland Defense security terrorist hotline and they did a fun little thing. We may find it and I'll play it for you, but it was really funny. She goes, "Hey, they're you're saying that people buy a lot of diapers? They could be terrorists." Well, she goes, "Well, my neighbor down here, man, they're buying lots of diapers." And she went through the report, and they're actually taking this report, and they're going seriously, "Well, how many diapers?" "Well, I don't know. What's a lot?" So we'll play that. Let me mark that down. Diapers 4409. And it's entertaining, but it's very instructive of the mindset that they have. What else would they want you to stop hoarding? Already, in the last couple of years, we have seen things that we were waiting for them to happen. They've happened. We're going to get into where the food prices, the ability to pay electric bills, the Corporation Commission here in Arizona already starting to amp it up. Here comes the price increases. Here comes a little surcharge this. Anything to do to save the government. The government is not going to be there to help you as this goes. So I'm looking for an opportunity to be able to survive this thing myself, for me and my family and close friends, and we're accumulating resources, whatever it takes, so we just keep doing. Now, we'll keep doing as long as we got internet access, and that's one of the limitations. We're wanting internet access to be able to continue Freedom's Phoenix, to chronicle what's happening, and we'll do our best to stay on the air and do the show. But other than that, our primary goal is to survive. Now, if we can be instructive, if we can be inspirational, if we can make sure that the audience and our friends and supporters have the ability to be able to benefit from us kind of blazing the trail, good. Because I want you, my audience, I insist on one thing: you survive. You're just the kind of people that they just soon not. And we know this. So we always do all our activism with love. We're just, humanity marches on. There will be freedom, will trend up. It always does. And I've talked about this before. We just got to survive. If you have trending over the last centuries and millennia going towards freedom, but if you were Jewish Pole in the Warsaw Ghetto, you weren't feeling the trend. You know what I mean? We just need to keep surviving this thing. We're going to talk about some of the things that we're doing here and how you can benefit, and we'll help blaze the trail. Pay attention. Hopefully we can save your life. We'll be right back.